make a dragon eye drawing. First, let's look at some different types of animal eyes. So what kind of animal eyes do you think these are? If you said a cat and a chicken, then you are correct. What about these animal eyes? If you said an iguana and an eagle, then you are right. So what do dragon eyes look like? Dragons are mythical creatures, so we must use our imagination. We can imagine that they would have a scaly texture around them and have vibrant blended colors as well. So let's go over the directions for day 1 of our dragon eye project. For your supplies today, you'll need a piece of paper, the dragon eye drawing guide, a pencil, and a black marker like a Sharpie. First, draw your dragon eye with pencil. You can use the drawing guide for inspiration and help with this. Then choose scale shapes to draw around your dragon eye to show texture. Use a variety of sizes. So you can see some different sizes and shapes here in my example, which I'll go over in just a moment. After you've drawn with pencil, then outline everything with your black marker. All right, let's go ahead and see how I made my dragon eye now. So to get started on your dragon eye, make sure you have a piece of paper, you have a pencil, and a black marker like a Sharpie to outline with today. Our focus today is going to be drawing our dragon eye, and then next time we will add color. The first thing we're going to draw is the eye shape for our dragon eye, and we're going to draw some details inside of it. Then we'll work more on what's around it, like the folds of the eyelid and the scale shapes. You should draw with a pencil first, but for the video, I will be showing you how to draw with my Sharpie because it will show up better on camera and you can see what you need to draw then. So I'm going to start with a curved line that goes at an angle. So it will start near this bottom left corner and arch up and stop a little before this top right corner. So this is the top of the eye shape. Then I'm going to make a curved line that is the bottom of the eye shape. And I started it a little bit in from the top of the eye shape line. Then let's draw some curved lines on the inside for the eye shape. Then I'll do one more on each side. Then you can pick a pupil shape to draw. So I'm going to do this kind of diamond shape, but there are other shapes that you can see in the example packet. And after that, I'm going to draw the reflection. The reflection is where the light is hitting the eye. So it's going to be left white when you start to add color. And it can really be in any sort of shape. So we often see it kind of in these blob shapes. There might be more than one, so I drew 2. Next, I'm going to draw a thin border around the eye shape. This would be called the waterline of the eye. So I'm just going around the eye shape and making a thin little border here. Then I'll add a line below. And after that, I'm going to draw some eyelid folds where the eye opens and the skin is folded behind. These lines will also help us draw the scales in certain places. And I'm still following the shape of the eye when I do this. So it still goes in that eye shape. I'm going to add one more here above. I'm also going to extend this line out to the edge of the paper on each side. The next thing you can start doing is picking shapes for your scales. So when we look at different reptiles, we notice that there are different scale shapes. So they could be rounded like a half circle. They could be more of a rounded square. But wherever you put them, you're gonna want to continue that shape all the way through that line. So for example here, I could start with this rounded square shape. I'm really trying to keep the lines rounded as I draw them. It looks more realistic that way. And I'm drawing it in the entire section of this line. So it's going from the top down to the bottom and filling the entire space. As I get further down the section, the scales are going to grow a little bit and get a little bit bigger. And then in some parts, they might get smaller. So right here, the scales are starting to definitely get smaller. So I finished outlining these scales, and the next thing I'm going to do is draw these lines on the water line. Notice that they start going on a diagonal line. So it's going at an angle like this, and the line starts to go straight and then angles the other way. So when I'm drawing them, I want to make sure that I am angling them the correct way so I get the right perspective here. And I'm putting a line right where the two scales meet, and then I'm starting to make my line curve in the other direction as I get to the other side of the eye. So now my line is angled in the other direction. And if you do this, it will just add to the perspective of the eye and make it look more realistic. Some other ideas for scale shapes could be a half circle shape. So something like this. You can draw them in a line and then repeat them below. So when you choose a scale shape, try to fill in that entire section with that shape of scale. So then I would just continue that shape below. And then one other idea for a shape of a scale would be a longer rectangular shape. Notice that this is still curved on the edges and the corners. So try to keep your shapes curved or rounded. It's going to add to the effect of it looking realistic, because a scale on an animal wouldn't be a perfect rectangle or square. So we want to keep them more organic and realistic looking. Okay, so I am all done drawing my dragon eye and all the scales around it. Once you finish drawing in pencil, then go ahead and outline with a black marker like a Sharpie. You can also use a thin Sharpie or a thin black marker for any small details if you have them and you think that that will work better. Another thing you can do with your black marker is color in the pupil black. So I'm filling in this shape black. I'm also making sure to keep the reflections shapes white. Once you have everything outlined, you can take an eraser and erase any extra pencil lines that are showing through your outline. And then we're going to stop there for day 1. Next time, we'll focus on adding color to our dragon eye. I hope you had fun today learning how to draw a dragon eye and using different types of scale shapes to show texture. I can't wait to see what you make. Have fun, artist!